It's 6:05. We're a little bit late because they wouldn't let us go live on certain places. And yeah, we had to wait. So if you're here, thank you for joining me. I really appreciate you being up at 6 a.m. I think my eyes still feel like they're glued shut. I was up really, really late. It's amazing how much effort you can put in for for a very small window of sorry, for a very small topic. No, that's not the word. See, I'm tired. For a very small time to talk. And so if you're here with me, I truly appreciate you. And I hope you actually feel a little bit less tired than I am. Although I can't really complain because my team, they've been up for 48 hours, I think, especially my mentor. So I'm not going to complain because I'll wrap my knuckles when I get off of this. So the topic that we're going to do this week is talking about getting stuck and staying stuck and how we manage to stay there stuck so long. So um, thank you. If you've got anything you need to do, shut the doors or sit down, whatever you do, grab a water, go and do that now. And if you have any comments about where you're stuck or how you're stuck, just or questions, just throw it in the chat, and then we can deal with that at the end, or we can check it out at the end. So with that said, let's start the topic. And the topic is about being stuck. And have you ever wondered why you get stuck and how you can stay stuck in life for so long? And especially when you know that there's so much more you can do or have or be, but you don't know where to start. And then it's too hard and it gets too challenging, it causes too much chaos around you, and you just like forget about it. Because if you ever have, over the next 10 days, we're going to actually unpack that and we're going to change it. And I'm going to give you a tool each day and a method and a strategy to make some positive changes in that stuck area. So if this is the first time you're joining me, I'm Pamela Hartnoll, CEO and founder of MindFit Mastery and your empowerment strategist. So for the next 10 days, we're going to explore what gets people stuck and why it's a struggle to break up with that stuckness and the impact that stuckness has, and how you can make the positive change so that you don't get kickback from the inner critic. Because I have clients that are trapped in negativity or unhealthy relationships or stuck with a certain way of thinking, and that they feel like there's no way out and everything's hopeless, which obviously then leads to you creating the same problems in your life and the same situations and the same relationships. And that's why you can go, right, I'm leaving this toxic relationship, yes, and I'm going to move on, and I meet the new person, and then all of a sudden it's the same thing over and over again. You've just created the same situation in the next relationship because nothing's changed. And I think it's Einstein that says the definition of sanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting to get a different result. So if you want to change something in your relationship, you need to change why you're staying stuck, what unconscious patterns you're listening to, which is creating that situation. So you might want to know, like, how do we get stuck? And that's a good question, because we get stuck because we're unconsciously attached to a story that was created by the things that we saw, the things that we heard, and the things that we were told in childhood. Now, a story we create when we've had very little time on the planet, very little experience, nothing to compare it to. And it's a story that's designed by the ego that actually is intended to keep you safe. But it gets a little bit out of control. It gets a bit too bossy, and it eventually traps us in a circle of or a cycle of negativity. And that negativity can come out in fear or worry and doubt. And I know, do you know what story is keeping you stuck? And it's a good question to ask yourself, what story is keeping me stuck? So I know mine was, why bother? You know, I got more qualifications than hairs on my head, and it doesn't make me any better than anyone else. It just means I have a massive toolbox. But my story was, why bother? Because as a child, like coming from poverty and adversity, it didn't matter how well I did at school. It didn't matter that I got lots of A's and A pluses, and one time I got a straight A report. Education wasn't valued. So my unconscious story became, well, it doesn't matter how well I do or how good I am at something, it's not going to make a difference anyway. So in that, for a while, that actually kept me stuck. That kept me stuck going, what's the point of being successful? What's the point? of being wealthy? What's the point? What's the point? What's the point? Because it wasn't going to get me what I unconsciously wanted, and that was the love and affection of my family, which, when you know where I come from, you would wonder, why would you want that anyway, Pam? I get you. I understand that. So how can you discover then your unconscious programming, what that is? Because sometimes we say, that's just how I am. That's just the way I am. I used to think me being noisy and being the center of attention was just how I was too, but it wasn't. It was that need for validation. So you can get clues about your unconscious stories and the programming that's running in the background by the way that you react to situations and people around you, because no one has the power to make you feel anything, but what they can do is trigger that internal reference that you have. So what I want you to look at is like, why does that person make me feel mad? Why is that situation annoying the bejeebers out of me? Because that clue will teach you something about yourself if you're mindful and you're aware and you think about it that way. So for instance, for me, I used to hate selfish people with a passion. And at one point, I even hated the homeless people. And that's a terrible thing. I'm like, how do I hate homeless people? And why I hated homeless people was because at one point I was homeless too. And watching those homeless people, knowing their struggle, knowing that they were struggling to get food and know how to eat, and that nobody cared and they felt abandoned, it was triggering all of that internal reference. So that was a big aha moment for me, because I actually do a lot for homeless people now, but that's another story. But the point is, nothing and no one can make you feel anything. They can just trigger what's already in there. So we have that theme going on, which makes you react, and you know it's an unconscious piece of programming because you react just like that. You can go from 0 to hero in being angry or frustrated or whatever in a blink of an eye. So when that happens, when you react like that, rather than think about something and respond, that's a good clue. And then the other way that you can think about it is that critical voice. You know that little voice, that inner critic that goes, me, don't do that, you're going to look stupid, don't do that, you're going to whatever it is. You just want to like punch it. But you can't. And we listen to it. Why do we listen to it? You know, I have a chart somewhere, and I will see if I can put it in my group under resources, which has soul and ego and all these beautiful feelings when you're coming from soul, as opposed to when you're coming from ego. And we have those two voices in there, and I kind of think they're like, actually, before I go there, I'll tell you that those two voices is what creates the conflict and what keeps you stuck. So you have one voice going, go on, have a go. And you got this other voice that says, no, don't do that, you're going to be really stupid. It's like this conflict that you have. So I've got a quote. It's a Cherokee proverb, and if I can ask team to pop up the wolf quote, if you have it. And what that quote says, if it's coming up, hopefully it comes up, no worries if it doesn't. The proverb says about something along the lines that if we have two wolves inside us, and one wolf is evil and it's jealousy and it's anger and it's greed and ego, inferiority, and all of those things, those negative things, while the other wolf is the good one. It's peace and it's love and it's joy and hope and empathy and kindness and all of those things, and truth. You know, it's all of those things. And the proverb says the wolf that wins is the one that you feed most. Now think about that. I believe those inner wolves just actually represent inner child parts, both trying to do the same thing, but getting there by a different method. And we have a comment coming on this. Let me just see what that is. Each of us, I have to get close to see. Each of us is wolf. Oh, cool. You're just saying what I've just said. So you don't have the image, you've put it up in words. Okay, thank you, team. That's awesome. Okay, so I also believe that we're never truly stuck. There's a Henry Ford quote that says, if you think you can, and if you think you can, you can't. Well, I think that way about stuckness. I think if you feel you're stuck and you think you're stuck, you probably are stuck, and you're not going to do whatever it takes to look for a way out. And if you think you're not stuck, then you're not stuck, because you're going to do whatever it takes to find a way out. So And we just have, look, High Tech Mother's just joined us. Says, I'm here. Thank you, High Tech Mother. I know it's early. I'm sorry I'm late, and I'm here for my magic coach. Oh, thank you, High Tech Mother. You are beautiful. I'm going to hope to meet you one day. So there is an action step worksheet actually below or down in below this video. I think my team will put a link in there for you, because now where was I going? I get distracted when I reach the comments. So if you're never truly stuck. That's right, you're never truly stuck. So you're only stuck if you think you're stuck. So what if you just stopped thinking you were stuck? You'd actually then, well, if I'm not stuck, I'd actually go and try and look for a way out. And I'll explain more about that tomorrow. And because we're going to work on this for the next 10 days and just a little bit by little bit, so that you can work on each thing and take it all in. And we'll work on why we're stuck and why we always end up feeding the wrong wolf, and how we and what we can do to make positive change and reset. So there's the link now. I'm seeing that on the chat there, or on the screen. So there's a 10-day worksheet that I've made, and if you want to get the most out of these next 10 days together, I'd invite you to fill out that worksheet and start becoming aware of your own unconscious programming, right? Create an awareness of what stories are keeping you stuck, so that you can change them. Because if you're not aware of them, you can't change them. And so have a look at how you react to people, how you respond to events around you. And then just, I always preface things with, that's interesting. That made me angry. That made me frustrated. That made me whatever it is. Yeah? So if you want to complete those steps, have that with you, write it all down and have them with you tomorrow. And it'll be like a little progress chart for your journey, and it will follow your thoughts. And if you have any questions on that, feel free to bang them in the group, or put them in the chat somewhere. And yeah, we'll endeavour to answer them. And I've got a team, perfect. They put it up on the screen. How beautiful is that? I'm looking over there at the screen, and yeah, awesome, cool. Thank you for putting that up. So fill that out and let me know how that works for you. So with that, until tomorrow, I will leave you with my greatest wish, and that's that you live your life, and you live it large, and you live it with passion. Until then, be authentic, reset, and be you. Bye for now.